Hey everybody, this is Kevin from Klotz Productions, and right now I'm just going to give you a quick run through of the deck I'm going to be playing today. So here we go. Here's the deck. It is blue, white, red control, which is probably more commonly known as USA control. The backbone of the deck is basically LSV's build, but we have a few different changes in it. Most of the changes are in the sideboard, but we have a little bit in the main deck changes. But all the lands are the same that he has on his deck. The 4 Sideboard refuges, the 4 glacial fortresses, the 4 arid mesas, the 4 scalding tarns, the 2 mountains, the 4 plains, and the 4 islands. So the land's all pretty much the same. We'll start up here. I am running 3 Ajani Vengeant. I just got 2 sleeves right here right now because my friend has my other 2 Ajani, so I'll be playing those. Secondly, I have 2 Banefire. Now the reason for this is that we're not running Spreading Seas in the deck. My friend Duke has been testing the deck a bit, and he has decided he didn't really care for the Spreading Seas, so he's opened it up for extra cards, and that's where the 2 Oblivion Rings come in. And he's actually running a 3rd Earthquake instead of Banefire. And then he had an open card, and so I just threw another Banefire in there because he wasn't sure what the 4th one was going to be. But I figured the Banefires are going to help out against the control matchups, which are probably going to be your roughest matchup since the deck is built to beat aggro decks, obviously. But, nobody's playing Banefire right now, so it'll be a surprise win condition that nobody's going to be ready for. Because they're probably not going to be playing swerves, and they'll just be trying to counter things with Flash Freeze. So it'll be a good win condition there. We decided to run the Oblivion Rings because there's just things that need to be dealt with that can't be dealt with any other way. And so we decided to go with the Oblivion Rings. That was actually Duke's edition, so I'm not exactly sure his complete reasoning on it, but I'll take his word for it. So we're using 2 Oblivion Rings. Then for our card drawing, we get the same setup as LSV. 2 Jace, 2 Divination, and 2 Mind Spring, which is pretty basic. The Mind Springs are amazing. It's nothing like drawing 6 cards off of a Mind Spring. And since you're going to be getting to that late mana, you'll be able to do it. Jace isn't too exciting right now. Personally, I might prefer to play 4 Divinations. But I suppose if he's on the board for a while against something like Control, then he'll draw you more cards than Divination's going to. But against the aggro decks, he might get you 1 card, and that'll be it. But I suppose worst case scenario, you'd play a Jace and draw a card, and then someone pulses it, and that's, card advantage. Or if you play Jace and draw a card and then they attack it, then that keeps some damage off of you. So I suppose he has his uses. Over here we have 3 Sphinx of the Dwar Isle as a win condition. That's pretty obvious. That's the same as in the other decks. And then we run 2 double negatives, good for those Bloodbraid Elves and any Cascade spells in Jund. And then 2 Earthquake. Now the reason we play the Earthquakes over the Day of Judgment is simply because we don't want to wipe our own Wall of Denials. So, so we play 2 Earthquakes, and those are going to help you with a lot of things. They're going to help you in the Boros match, they're going to help you in the Jund match. I mean, they really are a pretty powerful card right now. And like I said, I'm running Wall of Denial, running 4 Wall of Denials. These are going to be good. I mean, they're pretty solid against Jund because it forces Jund to play 2 dudes to attack past them. It works really well with the Earthquake. They're dominating against red deck wins since everything they play is like Balls of Lightning and Hellspark Elementals. All things that are going to come in and go to the graveyard after they attack once, and so your Wall of Denial makes those cards pretty much useless. Then we've got Path to Exile, run 2 of those. This is just that easy spot removal for things that just have to go, that you can't deal with any other way. I suppose it can be used to keep you alive early game against Boros, but bigger targets are probably going to be things like Thornlean and such. Then we have 4 Flash Freeze and 4 Bolts. We run 4 Flash Freeze because there's so much red in the metagame right now. Like at the shop, nobody's playing Vampires anymore, so don't have to worry about that. And you'll occasionally see a mono white deck, but not very often. So Flash Freeze is going to be good against just about anything, especially at RFNM. 4 Lightning Bolt is just because Lightning Bolt is about the best removal card you can get right now. and you can also throw it at somebody's face. So for 1 red mana, you can't really get much better. Then we're going into the sideboard here. Start out with the 2 negates. These are going to be for control decks, obviously. Anything that's not going to run a lot of creatures, they're going to play, just spells. So it's going to help shut them down. Then we have 3 Baneslayer Angels. You see these in most sideboards right now. So they're pretty self-explanatory about why they're good, but a strategy that you can use is if you're playing Jund and they think, well, they don't have any dudes that they can use the removal for because you're playing all Shroud stuff, then you can bring in the Baneslayer if you think they're going to take their removal out. And then they'll have no way to deal with her and she'll just stomp them. She's also really good against red deck wins, obviously. And if you think Boros is going to take their removal out the same way as Jund does, then she can come in and dominate that game as well. The Pyroclasms are also for the Boros matchup. They can pretty much kill anything in Boros. And the builds that I'm going to be seeing up at the FNM right now are not playing the Skyfisher. So yeah, it can pretty much kill anything in the deck unpumped. Or if they do have lands out to pump them, that's going to force them to crack their lands at that point instead of cracking them to attack you. So they're good all around against Boros. Essence Scatters and Day of Judgments are going to be for those creature-heavy decks, obviously. Like I said, we only don't run the Day of Judgments and the Mangs. We don't want to wipe our own Wall of Denials. But if you're playing a lot of creatures, then they're going to be good. Down here we've got 2 Mind Controls. These are specifically for Malachor Blood Witch because there's no main deck way to deal with the Blood Witch, and the only cards in the sideboard are Day of Judgment. So we don't want to lose to Malachor Blood Witch, and we'd much rather just take them with a Mind Control, and then worst case scenario they destroy their own Blood Witch with a card, which is still card advantage. And these are an addition that I added. I haven't really tested them yet, but it's 2 Obelisks of Alara. I feel like they're going to be really good against a control matchup, and then I'll probably be bringing them in against Boros as well, because I've just got 2 Pyroclasms for them, and I'll be taking out, actually, I don't know, since I don't have Spreading Seas in the main board. But they may come in against Boros, I'm not sure. But they're more for the control matchup. It gives me another win condition, as I can get infinite lightning bolts to kill them with. And it'll give me that 5 life back every turn. So if they got 1 Sphinx out and they're attacking me with it, then I can just be like, okay, I'll just gain that 5 life back, and they're not going to win with their Sphinx. So if they can't deal with it, then it's going to pretty much shut down their win condition. So that's the deck. That's pretty much it. Do what I'll be playing tonight, assuming people are going to show up. So hopefully it does well, and I'll see you all later.